going on, everybody? Welcome back to LTQ Wrestling Podcast. I am BDJ. Going to be talking about Finn Balor today. We have a lot of wrestling coming up. Tomorrow night is AEW's pay-per-views. I'm recording. Wasn't going to do a prediction video for that, but a lot of the times AEW shows, or at least pay-per-views, take so long to put all the matches out. They usually wait till like the day of or sometimes the day before, and it's just like, man, is it worth doing a prediction video on that one? I don't have the full match card in front of me. I guess I could do the very big matches on the show, but sometimes it's just like, man, they got to do better at that. We have Elimination Chamber at the end of the month, which Finn Balor and CM Punk, something I'm going to get into in this video, is on that match card along with 3 others. That should be a very fun show. A lot of WrestleMania implications involved in that show, as there always is. So really looking forward to that. We'll have to see how WrestleMania lines up, and hopefully it's a good show. So something I've been seeing a lot of online is support for Finn Balor. There's been a ton of support. Fans wanting Finn Balor to be champion again. They want him in the main event of WrestleMania. They really want him to beat CM Punk in Ireland. And, a lot of them, fans who support Finn have valid reasons to want to do so. He's had a really tough road the last few years. Hasn't really won a lot. He's won some tag team titles, but in WWE, does that really mean anything? Not really. He's not won a lot of matches, which you could debate. Like, does he really deserve to get a title match against CM Punk when he's barely won any singles matches? You could definitely have that debate for hours if you really wanted to. But they're having a rematch Elimination Chamber. Punk beat him the first time. They are doing something I really can't stand where they give somebody a rematch even though they lost to the champion. They don't really have to earn it or anything. They don't have to do no more contender. They just say, I want another match against you. You got the best of me there, but blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, well, let's have another match. And it's just like, sometimes that's just really annoying. It's not even just a WWE thing. It's just like a wrestling thing in general where, like, somebody that cut a promo, they get interrupted, it sets up a match. Like, no more contenders barely exist anymore, which sucks because that used to be such a big deal. But anyways, Finn Balor against CM Punk. CM Punk's really wanted to face Finn Balor. This is why they're doing this rematch in Chicago, Elimination Chamber. We saw, him and AJ Lee are on the cover. She's also going to have a match against Becky Lynch, it sounds like, on that show. So it's going to be a pretty big show. And the big question for a lot of fans is, should Finn Balor, with the recent fan support, be added to the Roman Reigns and CM Punk match at WrestleMania? Kind of like a Daniel Bryan type of addition when he got added to the Batista and Randy Orton match and the fans' support was too loud to ignore. The thing is, I don't know if Finn has that amount of fan support where it's like Daniel Bryan level where it's just we're taking over the show and we're going to keep booing until we get what we want. I don't know if it's on that level, but it definitely is loud. And, there's been reports the last 2 years, this is going to be a big year for Finn Balor. I heard that in 2025. And then as soon as 2026 hit the calendar, it's like, okay, Finn Balor's going to have a big 2026. I've also heard that about LA Knight. We'll see on him. But it's like, I don't know if Finn makes sense right now to add to the CM Punk and Roman Reigns matches because a one-on-one match between those two is already making them enough money because the history's there. Their promo against each other was so spectacular. It's already got a lot of fans invested. Why would Finn be added to that? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to add Finn Balor to that match because, yes, he's had a little bit of a history with Roman Reigns. He's had a few with CM Punk going on. But WWE has done a lot of triple threats at the last few WrestleManias too, where it's just like, okay, enough of these triple threats. They might do another triple threat with Jacob Fatu, Drew, and Cody. Do you really want to have 2 triple threat matches for the world titles on both nights? Could definitely have that debate. But I definitely want to see Finn at least win another world title. I don't know if it's going to happen. WWE's been very inconsistent with how they booked Finn Balor. They've really made him take a ton of losses, not really been a viable threat. The whole Judgment Day story, they've kind of had him and Dom tease something, and then they kind of forget about it, and they tease something again. If it was up to me booking Finn Balor, I would do him against Dom at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. You got a few months to set it up. You've teased friction before. Finn has said, he don't like the way your Judgment Day's been or whatever. You could definitely set that up for what Finn needs to do. I feel like that'd be a more realistic option than him getting added to the main event of WrestleMania between 2 big stars. And I've always seen Finn Balor as a star. It's just on the main roster. He hasn't really been booked as such. At least the last few years. In the beginning, Vince tried, but then he got hurt. I think Vince just lost faith in him after that. But, like, Roman Reigns against CM Punk in a one-on-one is just too big of a match to really mess that up right now, to me. Now, again, maybe if the fans just go berserk and they're chanting, we want Finn, like they did with Cody that one year, maybe WWE has no choice. There's been talk about how ticket sales are not great. Everything's up in the air right now. They don't really have an exact idea what all the matches are going to be. So maybe they go, you know what? let's add Finn to the mix. This is our time to get him back in that main event scene for good. We add him to the match, and maybe he can take the pin. Maybe they look at it that way, like, okay, we don't want Roman or Punk to take a pin right now. Finn could be the easier guy to put in this match. Have him take a pin. Roman Reigns wins, and we move on. Maybe that's the idea they go with. There's plenty of options. But for me, realistically, I just don't see WWE going, you know what, let's add Finn Balor to our main event. It's just because they're doing a triple threat on the other world title match. And it's just, look, Roman Reigns against CM Punk, is the biggest match they're going to put together right now. There's no bigger match. Maybe Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, if Rollins didn't get hurt, and they were going to go with that. Which there's been tons of different matches pitched for Rollins, him and Braun, which Braun's hurt now. But that's a story for another day. Him and Roman Reigns would have been a big time match, but him and Punk is just money. It's two big stars. The fans are automatically invested in it. You have the history, you have the story, you have their match with Rollins last year at WrestleMania. Maybe you add Rollins to the special referee. I've heard that tossed around by some fans. It should be an interesting idea. He has a history of both guys, so it'd definitely be interesting if he doesn't have nothing else to do at WrestleMania. But I don't see Finn getting added to the match. I just don't. And look, I want to see Finn do something relevant. There's a lot of times on the main roster where guys come up from NXT who had a ton of success there and they just don't do anything. We've seen it with Ciampa. We've seen it with Gargano. We've seen it with, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. There's just not a lot of success rate from the black and gold on the main roster. And Finn won a world title. It's not me saying Finn hasn't had any success on the main roster. I just would have thought by now he would have had more success. And he's won some Intercontinental titles. I believe he's won a U.S. title. He's won a world title. He's had his moments. But he hasn't had a sustainable amount of success for a long period of time. Yes, he's on TV every week. He's in one of the biggest stables in the company. But I just feel like when you looked at Finn Balor in NXT during that time period, he was probably arguably the biggest star they had coming out of NXT at that time period. And it hasn't translated to the main roster. Now, there are fans who don't like Finn's charisma. They call him a charisma vacuum. They don't think he's that charismatic, which, valid. But Finn is a legend in the wrestling business, not in WWE, in the wrestling business for what he's done in Japan, the amount of years he's put in. I do think he's deserving of having at least one more title run. At least one more. I know he's in his early 40s, maybe mid-40s by now. He signed a new contract. Maybe that's coming up soon. I've heard reports like maybe they're trying to, kiss up to Finn to get him to re-sign. We've seen WWE do that a ton before. I mean, they did that with Nakamura, I think, a few years ago, where they were like, oh, you know what? We want you to re-sign. Here's the United States Championship. Maybe they're showing Finn like, oh, see, we could book you in the main event. We could put you, in some big-time matches. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? I like the idea of just doing Roman Reigns and CM Punk. That's me. I know a lot of other fans want to see Finn added to it. I completely understand your point of view because Finn deserves better in this company for sure. And, I just think him and Dom is what WWE is going to end up going with. And, lives in the world title match herself. What's Roxanne and Raquel going to do if Roxanne's back from her illness? Hopefully she is. There's a lot of question marks for Judgment Day right now, what they're going to do. And they're all still a group, even though the group hasn't really been around because of injuries. Liv's been hurt, then Dom's been hurt, and then Roxanne's dealing with their illness. So we really haven't had all of them around at the same time. And I'm still going to die on this hill of like the group hasn't been the same since they removed Rhea and Damian Priest from it. And you could argue Damian Priest hasn't been the same since he got removed from Judgment Day. He's been just in no man's land on SmackDown. So, all in all, I'm going to go with Finn and Dom for WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. I think that would be the most logical way of going about it. Again, maybe WWE proves me wrong and they go, you know what, let's add Finn to this main event. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. Ticket sales are down, like I said. So maybe Triple H thinks of a different idea. We'll have to see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Finn Balor being added to the Roman Reigns and CM Punk match. Do you like the idea? Are you against it? Let me know your reasons. And, we'll have to see what happens at WrestleMania. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys follow my gaming channel, BDJGaming, I will be uploading more content again soon. I've been taking a little bit of a break because there hasn't been a lot of games to upload. There's a lot of single-player games coming out soon. I might get back and uploading that content. But if you're into baseball or franchise mode, I am going to be uploading that when MLB The Show 26 comes out next month. We also have WWE 2K26. Not sure if I'm getting that game. It's just been the same game for years now, which you could argue MLB is the same, but at least I have content to make out of that. We'll see. Appreciate the support as always. Peace.